Welcome to the She Means Business Show, where our mission is to activate confidence, amplify your voice, and help you align to your power. Today, we have on a powerhouse female entrepreneur, Tiffany Alston, who is the CEO and founder of Tenacious Lightworker. So I can't wait to learn more about that. I also had the honor and privilege of meeting Tiffany in Kauai, of all places, at an amazing Magical Women's Summit retreat conference. And ironically or divine intervention, we ended up sitting next to each other and shared a very powerful weekend together. So welcome to the show, Tiffany.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity, the invitation, and I'm so honored to share this space with you. You're such a brilliant woman, and having the chance, the opportunity to speak with you again since we got to meet in Kauai, as you mentioned, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for your time.
I'm so grateful for your time. And I also want to give you a shout out because you are one of our amazing women to watch in our August issues. So we can't wait to take a deeper dive into all the wonderful things you're doing. And with that being said, I'm going to read your bio so I don't leave anything out. So Tiffany Alston is the founder and CEO of Tenacious Lightworker, where she empowers others through mindfulness practices that helped her overcome procrastination, worthiness challenges, and a debilitating autoimmune diagnosis. Her mission is to guide others back to themselves by anchoring their lives in non negotiable decisions that support intentional living. Tiffany shares her healing journey and practical tools through the Tenacious Lightworker broadcast on YouTube, offering inspiring talks, follow along yoga, meditation, and mindfulness based practice rooted in self love, awareness, and the belief that healing is both possible and powerful. So, wow, how about all of that? I can't wait to hear your expertise in all of this.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you so much. So, I've grown so much over the past several months and really a couple of years after I embraced the potential that I had as a woman, as a person, and recognizing that I am enough and just showing up is what opens the door for us, right? So what I learned was incorporating meditation and movement and yoga for myself are one of the things that helped me remain grounded and improve my entire lifestyle. And I want to help others experience that. I want them to know that it's available for them too. It's not only the folks that you see on TV. It's not only the people that you read their books and you see them in magazines. No, it's all of us. It's available to all of us. Abundance is available to each of us, and we can shape our lives in a way that is authentic to us. And when we do that, we open doors for others to see themselves in us and that opportunity for them.
Amazing. Well, you said something to show up. And as easy as that sounds, it is not, or it was not easy for me. And I really have embraced visibility. And that's why this platform is so important to me, is to create that space for amazing women like you to have space to share your story and more importantly, the healing journey and how you did it, because it's not about what happens to us. Everyone experiences some sort of pain and trauma. What matters
Mhm.
is how we get back up and how we rise. And I know you've done that. So take us to the beginning. What were your struggles with self-worth? Because I know you specifically mentioned that, and then the formation of Tenacious Lightworker.
Mhm. So my initial struggles with self-worth actually started as a teenager. I had my first experience with sexual assault as a teenager, and being the young woman that I was, and I was raised very faith-based and in the church, and I believed that my innocence and my virginity was something really, really important to me. And when that was taken from me, I felt like I didn't have the same worth anymore. Like Like no one would really love me the same. And like everyone, whenever I showed up in rooms, like everyone could see what had happened to me. And that wasn't true. But that is definitely how I felt. And it impacted every decision that I made. It impacted relationships and friendships and the way I chose to show up in the world. And instead of being able to show up authentically as a confident young lady, I was showing up trying to be what I believed others expected of me, or what I presumed were their expectations of me. So that meant that since a little girl, I said I wanted to be a lawyer. So then to me, that meant that's what I have to stick with. That's what people expect. So if I don't do that, they'll think I'm a failure. When in fact, the more and more I moved into the legal field, the longer I worked in the legal field, and even whenever I went into law school, I decided to go into law school later in life. And during that time, I was working full time in a very demanding corporate role and then going to law school in the evening.
Wow.
And I was traveling 3 hours, 3 days a week after work to go to these classes. And I actually started law school during the pandemic. So it was that was tough. And I recall my counselor and folks from even the school mentioning, okay, we're going to have to something's got to give because my body was breaking down. I was mentally struggling, emotionally struggling, and all I could think was changing route is not an option because this is what I said I would do. If I don't complete this, then then who am I? How am I going to show up anywhere? But when I learned that the reason that I was making those decisions and challenging myself and pushing myself to a point of literal sickness and multiple health diagnoses was because I didn't feel worthy, that caused me to look internally and determine, okay, what can I do? How can I show up differently? How can I support myself and accept whatever it is that is authentically Tiffany instead of forcing myself to contort and conform to whether it be the corporate world or the legal world or spaces where I just genuinely did not fit. And the self-worth really, I didn't know previously how much that impacts all of our decisions until I really started to go inside and take time for daily meditation. And when I started doing that initially, it was really hard. I couldn't even, I struggled literally starting with just a few seconds of meditation. And I thought that getting to 5 minutes of meditation was just absolutely insane. Like I was like, who could do that? But the more I did, whenever I showed up for myself and did my meditation and movement and yoga and embraced that those are the things that fed me, those are the things that gave me light and energy and helped fill my cup so that I can show up for others. Uh, I don't, trying to think of the best way to explain it. It just that it made a change for me. It impacted me so greatly that I wanted a way to share it with others. And like you said about showing up, that was so difficult for me because, as I said, I felt initially like everyone could see my past.
Mhm.
And like whenever they would see my face or I would just show up somewhere, then that people were judging me based on the things that have happened in my life. When really that's not true. And they don't even know I am projecting that. And then when we show up with that energy, that is what we create and what we receive and what we actually feel. And it's not because others are bringing it, it's because that's what we are bringing to the situation, to the discussion, to the room. And I wanted to change that. Whenever I learned and saw other women, like especially your story has is it is you are such a blessing, and you giving women a space to share their story and give voice to things that have happened and allowed them to grow into the women that they are and they're becoming. That is phenomenal. And for you to do it from I know that you've had tough experiences as well. And it's interesting to me how so many of us that have had these trying experiences and challenges that cause us to doubt our self-worth are now finding one another. And we're showing up for one another. And we're creating space. And we're reminding one another that you are whole, you are enough, you are beautiful, and you are like others need your story. So actually, you mentioned the August issue of She Means Business, and there are some things, some words of yours that I would really like to share because they resonated with me so deeply. And it was in the Empire Her series, and you mentioned that just 45 days ago, you were scared to death to hit record. Your heart was racing, your palms were sweating, and your inner critic screamed, "Don't you dare. You've lost your mind. This is crazy. You are not safe." This wasn't stage fright. This was self-worth, fear, deep, loud, and relentless. That is 100% how I have felt for years. And seeing those words and reading them the way that I felt that you were speaking for me was just, I appreciated you so much. And I appreciated your ability and your willingness to share that, and how you show up now and you encourage others to show up because you're worthy and you've learned how worthy you are, and you want to help others recognize that too. And my being able to see that in you and your experience and your story, it just fueled me and ignited something in me. And so I just wanted to say thank you for that, because I've been wanting to start like either a broadcast or a podcast, something for years, but I was terrified to do it because I felt like folks wouldn't understand my story, or I wouldn't be able to show up the way that I see other people do it, or I couldn't do things exactly in the way that someone else did. But what I learned is I don't have to. I need to show up authentically me, just like others need to show up authentically who they are, and that's more than enough.
Oh my goodness, you had me crying. So thank you for that gift you just gave me. I'm so honored that you read that. You know, sometimes you write things, you're like, I just hope it if, one person reads it.
Mhm.
So for you to read that
Mhm.
back to me, that was like a really special moment. So thank you. And talking about showing up in Kauai, we're sitting next to each other and you showed up, you stand up, and next thing I know, I'm crying and hugging and we're hugging and all these things. But
Yes.
again, and it was you showing up and you being that light for me in that moment. So I just like what a beautiful full circle, and how important sisterhood is and community is, because, otherwise I wouldn't have met your beautiful soul. And I'm so grateful for you
Mm.
as my
So,
self-worth sister, because I definitely, as you just read, have really suffered with self-worth and showing up, and just the same things as you're telling your story. I felt those exact same ways. Stories are a little different, but
mhm.
that underlying internal, shame and guilt and just fear. Right, for me, something I talk about with my self-worth when I kind of hit my rock bottom was
Mhm.
I had to take radical accountability of what was going on in my life and like why I was hiding or what I was afraid of.
Mm.
Was there a moment like that for you, or where you just kind of had this moment of awareness or of acceptance of
Mm.
I've got to change something in my life to show up more? Like, what did that look like for you?
For me, that really began to happen the more I leaned into community and, like you said, sisterhood, where others would speak life into me. And I kept questioning what it was that they were seeing. Like, and I didn't understand. I would wonder, like, how folks would ask me to show up places, or why people would seem excited to see me, or I just, I was amazed by that because I knew that I loved the women that I was getting to know and learning to embrace relationships, but I didn't know that others would actually see value in me too. And when I learned that that was possible and that maybe I actually can bring value to others in telling my story, I felt like I made a decision because I had to. I felt like it was a responsibility. Um, and that happened when, after in law school, I actually hit a point where I had gotten so ill that I had to take a leave of absence from both school and work. During that time is when I really began to lean into um, my meditative practices, and even like learning about herbalism and holistic practices and wellness, and offering the information that I had available, the things that I had learned, sharing those with others. Whenever they would folks would come to me with questions and I was able to answer them and support them, I began to feel like, oh, maybe I can do something to help people. Maybe I really am adding value and not just sucking up like life from the room, and because that's never what I wanted to do. That's certainly not who I wanted to be. But I always felt like I felt as though I carried such heaviness with me. But it was interesting that others consistently told me they saw light. So I kept having to ask myself and go inside and ask, like, how can I find that too? What can I do to see that for myself? And like I said, getting into more communities and spending time with folks and going through different programs that pulled out more from myself and from my remembrance. Those are the things that allowed me to really seek change and seek active and aligned change for my life.
Thank you for just your vulnerability and talking about these things. Um, it's so beautiful, and I know everyone's listening and can just feel the love in your voice. Like, how did this amazing woman not know she was this beautiful light? I remember the first time I was very isolated and I joined a community. Shout out to Amberly Lago and Patrice Washington. But, you know, it was the first time I felt seen. They're like, Ashley, you have all these things. I'm like, what? I remember thinking I'm on another planet. I'm like, who are these people? What is going on? It was like,
Mhm. Mhm.
what?
Right.
It's
What
like
are
when
they
you were
talking
telling
about?
your story, I was like, I think you felt that way too. I mean, it was bizarre. I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever experienced. And
Mhm.
to feel safe, I remember feeling safe, and I would just, talk and be able to just speak and tell my story and have people
Mhm.
listen and it be okay. That was just the most transformational experience.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And in doing so, one of Patrice's programs, and I'm so glad that you mentioned Patrice, it was called Command the Stage. And in that program is where I came up with "It's not you, it's my shame." And I recognized that that's why I wasn't showing up in places. I recognized that that's why I allowed myself to make decisions from a place of forcing myself to contort and conform to my presumed expectations of others, because I didn't know how much my lack of self-worth and that shame and guilt caused me to make decisions that were genuinely not in my best interest. And I'm grateful that I learned that one, or that I came up with that one line. which then led me to want to be able to support others in learning that it really sometimes it's not all outside, it's not external, it's not others, it's us, and it's the shame that we carry. So my goal is to help others navigate, internally navigate their what I call 3I mind. And the 3Is are irrational, idealistic, and idiosyncratic. And I'll define those for anyone.
So
So
irrational.
yes, irrational is just lacking reasoning or understanding, or just like, for instance, the way that we both explained our irrational feelings about ourselves that were completely untrue, but they were so rooted in us, we believed they were true, but it was a completely irrational thought. And then idealistic, having high moral standards and lofty goals and principles. We both have those, right? We've had them for a long time and didn't know how to embrace our ideas and the things that we really wanted to do. And then idiosyncratic, that's all me, because that means quirky and eccentric and unconventional. And that is me, which is why I struggled so much in trying to, like I say, like I use contort and conform myself. That is this free spirit and personality with this like childlike joy, and try to like put it in a box with a maybe a gray or black suit consistently. Like it just doesn't make sense.
I love this so much. I always say, like, when people are like, how would you describe yourself? I'm like, I'm quirky. So the fact when you just said that, I'm like, yes. How funny. So like, I feel like I'm talking to myself in this interview so much.
Yeah.
It's so resonating with me. That's amazing. So here you've gone through the law school. You're having this transformation, and then what led you to the creation of your LLC?
That really was my interest in herbalism, and I began creating like my own loosely specialty tea blends. And I started creating those to help support myself in relaxing because I was suffering from insomnia. And so I was able to learn about and use herbs and natural things that would help support me instead of medications, which I understand that that's necessary sometimes for folks. And there's nothing wrong with that if someone needs that support. But I found that I was able to support myself in a way that some other medicine wasn't. So I decided to create Tenacious Lightworker LLC so that I could brand and offer those products to others. And so I'm working on actually we're going to be farming so that I can have my own organic herbs that I'm growing instead of having to source everything externally. So I'm working on that now as well. And I expect the goal is by next spring, summer to have some of my own harvest. And so, yeah, that's where the Tenacious Lightworker idea came into play. And as I mentioned, I was very interested for years in having a podcast or broadcast, something where I wanted to share information where I felt like I could maybe support others in their journey in the way that I knew I needed support myself. So I thought, well, what better way than to wrap it all into one?
I
And
love
that's
it. I feel like a common denominator between each show here is taking what each amazing female entrepreneur didn't have and filling that void with that. So there's a quote, create the change you wish to see in the world. And that really is coming through loud and clear here. And I, it's so amazing. So, how can we stay in touch with you, find you, work with you? Tell us all the things.
okay. So right now, I actually I have two YouTube channels. one with my husband, and that one is called Chat and Color. And we have conversations around our life experiences and like the things that we've gone through as a couple, and just life, and even building our home, and like the organic farming. And then the Tenacious Lightworker broadcast. And I decided to go with broadcast instead of podcast because, like I said, I'm a little quirky, I'm a little bit different, and I didn't feel like the box of podcast really fit me. I wanted the opportunity to include a number of things, like so including yoga, or even maybe sharing how I mix some of my teas and make them for folks, and that. So the channel, there's a YouTube channel for that, and I'm uploading videos there, and it's brand new. So I'm actually just getting it done this year, which is why that 45 days ago, whenever I read that in the magazine, it meant so much to me, because over the past really 45, 90 days, so much has changed for me. And it's just because I decided to show up, to be authentic, and to embrace like what I really have to bring to the world.
Amazing. So going back to that article, I was writing that as like it was kind of a diary, and I wasn't showing up. And here's Amberly right here. She's like, Ashley, where are you? I didn't even know like you are behind this magazine. Where are you? You need to start showing up. And I'm like, So it was literally like a diary. And I was like, I think I'm going to share this, because if this is my message, I'm going to share it authentically and like as I'm going through it and the fears that came up. So thank you for
Mhm.
reading that. And I'm so glad you resonated. But
Mhm.
what was I going to say? Okay, so we I'm just like blown away by so many things. Here you are, this precious teenager who had this, traumatic experience, and, lived this life hiding and giving power to this shame. And you are taking that, you're being a light, you're showing up, and here you are now, a founder and CEO, with showing up with two shows, and one, a broadcast and a show, and teaching the world to show up, to be quirky, to be you, and to be unconventional. And I think that's the secret to life. So thank you for sharing those
Amen.
beautiful things. What else? What if you had one message to share with the audience today? What else would that be?
Mhm. That you are enough, and even more than that, you are worthy, and that's it.
You are worthy.
Mhm.
Amazing. You are so
Mhm.
special. You are such a bright light. Um, I don't, this has been such like a profound conversation. I'm going to keep going, but then we are going to do some fun, more casual questions. But one more thing, because I think this is so important. On
Yes.
your hardest days,
Mm.
because let's face it, even when you go through massive transformation and you make these changes in your life, we still have hard days. On those hard days, how do you get through those now?
Breath work. And it's a form of meditation, but right now um, it's what I lean into and what I go to every time when I'm having a rough day. I remind myself to just breathe.
Mm.
I do box breathing, which is taking it's 4 counts. So you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, and then hold again for the count of 4.
I'm doing
So
it.
that
Say it. I'm literally trying
yeah.
to.
It is so it that has been such a blessing to me, because it helps me ground. It helps me realize I'm safe. And even though, because sometimes we don't feel safe in our body, sometimes things feel very uncertain. And that just gives me the opportunity to focus, to come back to myself, to realize safety, to realize that I am okay, that I am enough, that I am worthy, and that each breath that I'm given is a gift,
Mm.
and that I must treat it as such.
I love that. I recently just saw this on like Reel, Instagram or something, but it was talking about breath work. And I'm going to do my best. It's not going to sound as eloquent as he made it sound, but basically, how people don't understand or really take for granted breath work and just breathing. Because
Yes,
think about if you stop breathing, what happens to your body? You lose consciousness.
right.
And so when you think about breathing as consciousness and
Hmm.
being intentional about what you are breathing in, like breathe in love and support, exhale stress and anxiety. That's what I do. But it just like really put that in perspective, like how we take for granted breath.
Hmm. It's so
So
true.
I'm so
It's
glad you brought
absolutely accurate. Hmm.
that. Amazing. So I'm going to ask some fun, not that this wasn't fun. I'm going to ask some more casual questions. Are you ready for
Okay,
that
I
speed
am ready.
round? Okay, what is your zodiac sign?
Libra.
Oh my gosh, I can balance and all the
Yep,
things.
yep.
Okay, I'm also in the music industry, so I'm always super interested to know your favorite song or artist or genre or whatever that might be for you.
Oh man, that's so tough. I love all genres of music from classical to country to alternative to rock to R&B and B, and like I love music because I grew up singing and performing, so I think that gave me an opportunity to be introduced to so many other types of music that now it's so difficult to choose a favorite. I know growing up, okay, this is crazy, and I might date myself, but growing up, my favorite artist was Janet Jackson. Love her, still
Me
love her now.
I love Janet. Love it. Okay, next, what's something that's always in your purse?
Lip gloss.
I swear, I was like, I need lip sponsorships because everyone says some sort of lip product. So I'm gonna have okay, I can't wait to know your answer for this one because what is your can't live without self-care tip or routine?
Mm. So now, for me, that is daily meditation and emotional priming. Before I get started with my day, I wake up and take my time to be very intentional about my the meditation practice that I'm doing. And when I say emotional priming, I actually learned that from Rudy Reiskens that we met also in Kauai. And I learned that we have an ability to raise our like vibration and our frequency. So I can do that every day and walk into each day with a love and a joy and gratitude that I greet the day with. And that changes even how I approach maybe difficult meetings that I might have, or challenging conversations, or even traffic. So that would be my big self-care tip.
I love that. Shout out to Rudy and Aniston, right?
Yes, yes, they're amazing.
So amazing. Okay, and this is a serious question, Tiffany, and it tells a lot about you. What is your most used emoji?
I wonder, I feel like it's probably the little like heart hand. It's
That's
probably that
mine
one.
too. I
Really?
swear, you're like my sister from another mama,
Yes, yes.
sister from another mister, whatever.
That's right. That's right. That's amazing. I love that so much. We were
Love it.
so meant to cross paths. Oh
Oh
my
my gosh,
goodness.
like you have blessed my life in so many ways. I hope you know that. And last question, what does she means business mean to you? And that could be as a tagline. It doesn't have to mean like the magazine specifically, but
No, for me, when I hear she means business now, it means Ashley and it means growth. It means opportunity. It means to show up. It means that's what she, the me, she means business now. And you helped me pull that out. So that's what that means to me now. And like I literally, every time I see it or hear it, I think about you and I think about what you're doing. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Oh, well, we mean business for sure. I know that.
That's right.
That's so wonderful. You are such a blessing. Thank you for being this powerful woman in business, CEO, game changer, purpose chaser, and all of
Yeah.
the things. And thank you for being a gift in my life.
Thank you. Thank you so much just for your beauty, for your love, for your kindness, your encouragement, support. Thank you for who you are and who you encourage everyone else to be.
My goodness, you're the best. Isn't she amazing, audience? I mean, follow her. How do we follow you? What's your Instagram, Facebook, all the things?
Yes, at Tenacious Lightworker. That's how you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and then the Tenacious Lightworker broadcast. That's also at Tenacious Lightworker on YouTube, and I will be sure to provide the link for you. And you all feel free to join. I would love to see you in the comments. Ask me questions. Uh, Whatever. Yeah, just follow. Oh, also, I have tenaciouslightworker@gmail.com. You can reach me there as well if anybody has individual questions that they'd like to reach out with and not necessarily have it in a public forum. So I'm more than happy to respond and I look forward to doing so. And yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Well, thank you again for being here. I know everyone listening definitely took away tips to activate their confidence, amplify their voice, and align to their power. We'll see you next time.